All right. Good morning. It is Tuesday. Friday, we have training on manifestation. Believe it or not, it's the combination of two currencies, money and faith. How to manifest, meaning materialize your dreams into reality. That's what we're going to talk about on Tuesday. So join me 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And we are going to teach you how to materialize what you want. How do you get there? All you got to do is email me, david@dmeltzer.com, or you can join our text community, 949-298-2905. All right. We got a little Miles Graham going. All right, we got one question in here. Let's get the questions going. Do you ever have the Monday blues? Well, first of all, time is a man-made construct. So I've tried to distinguish in how I do things from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I'm into consistent, persistent behavior, and I'd rather do something 2 minutes a day than 2 hours on a Saturday. So the distinguishment between the days I don't have. Do I ever have moments of interference between me and that great source of light? Yes. And I get back to center in moments or minutes. I don't allow it to last. And that's a muscle that I've been training for 15 years, continually training to figure out how do I use that muscle to connect to or clear the connection to this unbelievable source that I'm connected to. And so I don't have Monday blues. I just sometimes don't feel to my potential, and I use the stop, drop, and roll methodology to do that. Well, questions just piled in. That's good. Good morning, everyone. What's the difference between manifestation and the law of attraction? So the law of attraction is what you attract to yourself. Manifestation is the process of taking an idea of ether, taking something from nowhere, taking it and bringing it to now here, and then it will go to nowhere again. So it is that there. Well, I got my friend here from, ironically, Alkaline 88. K. Cheers to you. This is my mango flavor. We'll let him join in here. I saw you in San Diego on Sunday. Thank you, D-Bull. Yeah, I was down there, right up on the boardwalk, hanging out, enjoying it. I'm waiting for my friend Aaron to join. Should be picking up. What should I say when pitching media marketing services? You should be credible. You should make an emotional attachment. You should quantify the reasons, impacts, and capabilities. There he is.
Hey, everyone.
Himself.
How are you?
How are you?
Really good.
How'd you feel about the game last night? Did you watch it?
All of it.
All of
really
it?
Like it. I mean, the tough part for us is Mahomes is such a champ, except for the fact, obviously, he represents our biggest competitor in Essentia. But look, he's a great athlete, and what a game. So really
I was wondering if he'd be as good without those receivers, though. I mean, his three of the top receivers. You know, when Sammy Watkins is like your third decision, and you got Kelsey, and I'm just sitting there. He's incredible, but I wonder what Aaron Rodgers would do in that situation.
Whoa, that's a shot, but that's a good one. But I mean, the ants. I mean, Tyreek Hill, he's just so good. I mean, you put that guy with the ball, and just look what happens.
He's so fast, and you know they run him across the field instead of up the field even, and it's impossible for a defender to keep up with him. So maybe Jake can help you. You're sideways. I don't know why.
Let me see.
Oh, now you're upside down. There we go.
There we go.
So I've been drinking a ton of these. I used to be a huge smart water guy, and my 10-year-old, he had a Miles Graham on Monday, and I got to send you the clip. He's like, I love the watermelon, Dad. How come you don't drink smart water anymore? And then I gave it to him. He's like, oh.
That's good.
It's so good. It was really good.
Well, it's good to be drinking it too.
An entrepreneur extraordinaire. I wanted to have you on because, you know, a lot of people don't understand what I call the vertebrae approach, that, you know, it's really your skills, your knowledge, and your desire that allows you to build businesses. And within the context of Alkaline 88, you guys have built several different business units and businesses, but overall, you're involved in so many different things. How do you really stay focused on what you're empowered with, your strengths, without getting distracted in all the different industries and all the different things that you're doing?
I mean, it can be a distraction for sure. You got to get refocused and what have you. But I guess as we're growing, different brands in our water, it's kind of segmented out. And number one, kind of what you just said about if you put Holmes or Rogers in with the receivers, it's all about the team and the people around you. And we've got a great team. I mean, we've got some of the best receivers, I think, in the water business and the CBD business to work with. And I think that's really who elevates it. And what I'm good at, I think, is leading them and creating that vision.
One of the things that I talk about when people try to distinguish themselves in any market, I remember Kevin Plank, when I was working at Lee's, he came to us to invest in Under Armour. And I was a little younger and more ignorant than I am. And I'm like, why in what world would I want to compete against Nike? Right? Why would I even try? Right? And yet some people like you have a vision where you see where you can make yourself equal, but then make yourself better. What are some of the things that, number one, make yourself equal to the competitors? And then what are some of the things that make yourself better?
Well, I would say number one, just to start, go with the better, is the product. The product always speaks for itself. And I think sometimes smaller companies can be a little bit more nimble and create a niche brand for themselves. Our water, anybody who tastes it, whether it's your son, an athlete,
Me?
a celebrity, or a lot of even my friends that I've taken it to, the first thing they say is they go, wow, this tastes different. It tastes amazing. So I think that's really, really important. And then the equal part, I would say what's neat about alkaline in the sector itself is it's becoming bigger. A few years ago, people would look at alkaline and only really know about batteries to do with it. And now there's obviously people understand that the alkaline category, not just with water, is growing. And other brands are coming into it, which is good for us because it creates more exposure.
Yeah, I was in a competitive space when I got out of law school in the legal research side. It was Lexus and it was a Thomson Reuters up in Canada that bought us, but Lexus Nexus. And I used to tell people, when you have the better product, you love the competition, and people never understood that. And I said, yeah, because they're just educating the market, and people, once they get into alkaline water, they're going to try the different brands, and who's ever best, all those people are spending money to send people to you.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's
It
true.
is. It's marketing in its own right, and that's what it comes back to, the taste profile, for sure with our waters.
And what about CBD? That's a huge category. Everything is CBD infused. I probably hit up by 10 companies a day. I got CBD infused toothpaste and nasal sprays and hair conditioners and everything with CBD. But CBD seems to be a natural to infuse with water, considering we're 80% of our body or more is water. What is it about CBD and water that combines so nicely, and what benefits does it have?
Well, the number one thing we always have to be careful of right now with the FDA is making health claims. So we're not going to, I can't do that. But everyone knows that takes CBD and looks at it for themselves. I mean, they're self-medicating, dosing, or they use it for whether it's inflammation, for a sleeping agent, for relaxation. And water is something we drink all day. So, as we continue to expand the flavors and the taste of the CBD mixed in with our waters, we think because we have that distribution, we're going to be a definite winner in that sector. And it just made a ton of sense to add on the other lifestyle brands that we have in there, whether it was the lip balm, the topicals, the capsules, soon to come are the gummies, right? And to continue that brand extension, so you got a full suite of products that people can use.
And then the other side of growing a business is, I have a rule about business: you got to stay in business. And understanding, understanding being properly capitalized. And you, through your entire career, have really gained an understanding of the capital markets and how to raise money, how to make money, how to create margins. What were some of the great lessons that you learned along the way? And some of these entrepreneurs can understand as far as the capitalization of a company and how to balance that with the structure and with the education that comes along with it.
Number one, I always protect the shareholder base because they're the ones that are your loyal fans. And in the consumer product business, if your shareholders are good investors and good long-term shareholders, you're also going to have great consumers who are going to buy your product and become your bigger raving fans. That's really important. And you always have to watch the balance sheet. You always need to have cash, especially in a business where you're trying to grow your brand and build your top line sales. Those are the two things that basically I would say get me excited because I like to execute on them, but then they also keep me up at night, making sure that we're always in that strength position.
Yeah, when I was in my 20s as a CEO, one of my mentors gave me a great piece of advice because back then in the internet boom, everybody immediately was only concerned about your exit. I wasn't even
Yeah.
in my entrance and they were talking about what's your exit strategy. And he said, it's really simple. Just maximize shareholder value. That's always your exit. And if someone came to you tomorrow with an offer, you would consider it for the shareholders. And you've always taken the team approach. Where did you learn to put yourself as an intelligent follower? Because you really lead by being an intelligent teammate more than leading by demanding things of people.
But what do you mean? Like, sorry, part of it cut out for a second.
Yeah, no problem. So I was saying you're very team oriented, and a lot of
Yeah.
younger CEOs, I call you an intelligent follower. That's how you lead, as an intelligent follower and as a team member. In all the engagement that we've had, you're always talking about your team and how to empower your team. You're always talking about your shareholders. Where did you learn the value of teamwork over being, a dictator or a leader who demands things?
Obviously, for sure, playing soccer, like through learning that first, and then I got really lucky and got into a very cool personal training environment in Vancouver that you and I have never talked about, but it had, I learned from the Chip Wilsons at Lululemon, the Brian Hills at Aritzia's. So, I had some pretty cool mentors. Lucas Lundin in the Lundin Mining Group. My partner that I've worked on with the Alkaline Water Company was also original investor in True Religion Jeans. So I've had some really, really good mentors along the way that, have taught me the value of team and other people, giving autonomy to people. That's important because you need motivated people. It's no different than sports. Business and sports, the parallels. That's why you've got your podcast called The Playbook. And that's what makes these companies a success. And there's no room for individuals. There just isn't. The brands don't survive. And actually, if you look at the businesses and you read the books, look at the businesses that faltered. It's guys that thought that it was just all about them.
It's so true. And I would say the only difference I see from being an entrepreneur, a business person, compared to the sports that I played is the game just lasts a lot longer. you get a lot more overtimes.
For sure. And that's the goal with these businesses too, is every startup's dream is to become bigger and global. There's also, you brought up the exit earlier. Of course, one day, a lot of these brands in the beverage space, and I'm going to guess CBD as well, when the FDA puts kind of the stamp on how that is going to sell. Yeah, the big companies are going to come into this sector. And I think as the alkaline space continues to grow, I think global beverage, as you saw, Smart Water launch their own alkaline. I think they're going to look at brands like ours eventually, and consolidation will come into that into both these categories.
It's so interesting. I was turned on to alkaline water years ago by the founder of UGG Boots, Brian Smith.
Yeah.
And he told me that alkaline water saved his life. He was being challenged with cancer, and he had studied alkaline, and he had turned me on to alkaline water and all these great attributes of alkaline water. So I did my research, and I've been switching brands because nobody knew what it was a few years ago when I found out about it. In fact, there was like an MLM that was selling an alkaline delivery service. There's all kinds of alkaline stuff out there. And then, of course, go into the mass market excited with one of your competitors, Smart Water, and started drinking that. And, it was funny because when I met Alkaline 88, like any, brand loyal person of, always like, well, I drink what I drink. So I tried it, and it was the taste. And then I started doing research on the company, and I had to get in touch with you because of, behind, they always say like, the New England Patriots, right? I always say the fish is either good or rotten from the head down, and you can see the leaders of certain teams and why they can't win all the way down. Well, this fish is delicious from the head down, and from the day that I met it, it was really good. How long did it take? I worked with Sidney Frank when he created Grey Goose, and he had the same philosophy as you: teamwork, quality. He ended up exiting for $2.6 billion. owned almost all of himself. But he was so concerned about having the quality taste. How long did it take you to develop something? Because it's not easy to get stuff that tastes so good. And I'm holding up the mango. I will tell people I like the watermelon, and then I forget who your company told me lemon lime was their favorite. Now that's actually my favorite because it tastes just like the Ritz-Carlton Hotel when you come in and they have the big
Yeah.
water with the lemons and the lime in it, except for it's alkaline, so it's even better for you.
So lemon lime's my favorite. So in that, you know what, the taste profile, all the credit in the world goes to Ricky. He took a lot of flights. He spent a lot of time really working and refining that with one of our taste house profilers, and they did a phenomenal job. But we changed. Like, it took time. The first reiterations of whether it was a watermelon or a lemon lime, it took time for them to evolve, and we're always going to continue to perfect those. When we add CBD in there, it changes a little bit. So we're going to continue, the science and the technology, but probably a couple of years to get to the level where we're ready to launch them.
Wow. And
Yeah.
do you believe that, I believe water is a conduit, right? Obviously an electronic conduit, but it's the best thing to carry a frequency. And so that you actually have a huge advantage over someone that's selling, like an Under Armour shirt that, has thread. And I think that's why people started infusing copper into clothing, because it has a certain effect. I believe that, for me, the water carries a frequency, and it goes beyond just what you put into it. There's actually a collective consciousness in your water. I know I'm going way out there, but I talk to my water. Like, I've learned, to put energy and intent into my water when I drink it. And
Yeah.
so at a higher level, do you believe, obviously it's an electronic conduit, but do you believe it's a frequency in itself?
Yeah, I'm with you there, because I think so many people are looking at it as an agent to carry things and do different things for them, because people are starting to put other vitamins in there, right? So it's a conduit for that. You've got plant-based things going into them. Look, we're living into a world that's going to have kind of the mushroom worlds coming into it. That's going to be next. I've seen, I'm an investor in a lot of cases first as well, and I'm seeing companies come and people ask me about, will psychedelics work in water? And you've got Bulletproof Guy behind, a couple of those companies. So yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you there for sure.
Yeah, we'll be drinking that mushroom water in Colorado first. I know that. So I'll be
That's for sure.
let me be a taste tester on that. I'm a big fan of that. I put myself out there, but beyond that, even distribution. What we'll talk about real quickly. It's one thing to build a company, especially in the beverage industry. There comes a point where you have to scale to everywhere, and that's a really poignant part. A lot of companies are successful, and then they don't have enough, or they've structured wrong, or they're using the wrong distributors, especially with COVID. Obviously, it's even more challenging. How have you dealt with the distribution and the demand that you have for your product?
We went systematic. We really dominated the West Coast, and as Ricky used to say a lot, west of the Mississippi. Built up the brand, had a lot of, California, Arizona, Nevada, good, strong state exposure, into Texas, strong. Texans love their product. Then, obviously, we've expanded east, and by doing that, we opened with co-packing facilities. So now I believe at any given time, we're kind of functioning between 7, 8, and 9, depending where those orders come from. And we just go in and we retrofit it with our secret sauce and our specific machine, and then we can crank production from there.
Wow, you are just an amazing team leader, and it's an exact example of what we can do step by step, utilizing focus and intention in everything that you do, and most importantly, teamwork. But I just have to say, don't do this often, but I'm a huge fan. And if you haven't tried Alkaline 88, please check out any of the flavors, the regular ones. I got regular ones here, and of course our recyclable aluminum.
Love
I
it.
don't have a
Same right
giant
here.
bottle. I don't have
Cheers.
a giant bottle in my office because I would have to go to the bathroom like every 5 seconds.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
I'm over 50 now, but anyway, thank you so much, Aaron K. Alkaline. Everyone, try it out. Thank you for coming on and teaching us some great lessons, though, of entrepreneurship. You are doing a tremendous job. I look forward to doing a lot of things with you.
I appreciate it, man. Okay.
Take
Talk
care,
soon.
Aaron.
Thanks,
Very
David.
cool. All right. We even taught him how to do IG Live. I think this may be one of his first IGs. So cool dude, team everywhere. If you know, you could just tell winners win. That's a winning product. That's all I got to say. Alkaline 88, winners win. We're going to teach you how to do what Aaron K does, and that's manifest what you want in your life and business. All you got to do is email me, david@dmeltzer.com. Aaron's episode of the playbook airing today. Download that. Spotify, it's featured on Entrepreneur. Go ahead. Let's check it all out. You will be there. Unbelievable. If you have any questions, reach out. David@dmeltzer.com. Find at Alkaline88, at Alkaline88. You can follow them and check it out. That's all I got to say. Gifts, put it in your box. You got to add some of these great things. Anyway, where am I at? Let's answer some questions. I got off on my subjects here. There we go. How do you actually let someone else take control of your business? I've developed a manager, but still micromanage them. Look, it's just math. Micromanagement is about math. You know, you have 3 stages. 1, how long does it take you to get that person to break even for you? How long does it take you in the execution stage to get them to be profitable to a certain point? And then how long for equity so that they're an owner? Some people never get to that 3rd stage. Everyone should get at least to the 2nd stage of breaking even, determinative upon what they're doing. And how do you empower them to make those decisions, not watch them make those decisions? So here's how I do it. 1, I let them follow me. So this is me. This is the person. I let them watch me and shadow me. Then I have them work with me. Then I shadow them. Then I drop away. I bring someone else in new to shadow them. They work with them. They drop away, scale more and more and more. It's really simple. It's a 3-step process. Learning stage, execution stage, equity stage. That's the best way to stop micromanaging. And if you find that the math doesn't make sense, then either do it yourself or find somebody else. Outsource it, do whatever, find another option. But you got to get the math right, or else it'll never be good for anyone. You'll end up, no one will be employed. So that's where we're at. When you say that you are a profit center for others, what does that mean? A profit center means that you make money for others. So if you pay me $1,500 a month and I make you $2,500 a month, I'm a profit center. I am a profit center that equates to $1,000 of profit a month. So could you see any reason why you wouldn't want to do business in that way? It's a gift. It's why you receive to give. You want to be a profit center and be able to articulate how you're a profit center to everyone. All right, let's see here. We got more friends coming in. Awesome. All right. What the heck? Let me get this in here. We'll have another friend join here, the founder of Max Management. Everybody wants to know about branding and how to do that. There he is.
What's up, brother? How are you?
It's so good to see you. How are you?
You too, my friend. I feel like we have not seen each other since what, February per usual, I would say, Super Bowl?
Yeah. Where are you right now?
I am in my office in northern New Jersey.
It looks good. The reason I asked you, it looks like it did this morning here in California. A little overcast, and you're like coming from heaven.
Absolutely. I'll tell you this. It's September this year has been pretty nice. We had a couple cold days right after Labor Day weekend, and it started to warm up again. So not too shabby.
Oh, man. Well, I'm so excited, Max, that you're here. You know, you're marketing one of my favorite guys, Devin Kennard. The guy's awesome.
I'm telling you, Devon is the I would say the epitome of the best version of a current player you can get. An incredible human being, great player on the field, and has done a remarkable job evolving his career from a standpoint of philanthropic business ventures and everything he's doing, man. But aside from that, he's a very good friend of mine, and I am blessed to work with him, and I appreciate you having him on as well.
Of course, and I'll pronounce his name correctly now. So I've been calling him Devin. Devon.
Absolutely.
That's what you gotta love about that, man. When you got the simple names like Max and David, people don't screw those
No
up
doubt.
that often.
No doubt
But
about it.
yeah,
Nice and easy.
I get to talk to so many guys, and I love when I meet the real deal. The guys that just are kind, they get it, and they're being rewarded for it because they've made it this far. Not necessarily because they're the most talented, quantum talented, but
Of
they
course.
have the heart and the soul, the desire to must be what they can be. They're getting the most out of their system that it is. And, a lot of people don't realize that that's your job, is to not only get the most out of the people that you work with, but to be able to represent what that is and tell a story and teach lessons with it. And you have to be a great person yourself. I see a lot of people on here. Max is the GOAT. Max is the man. That's indicative of somebody that knows what they're doing, because you're elevating others to elevate yourself. And I've seen you over the years, completely selfless in a completely scarce environment, be able to look for the best interest of not only your clients, but also the customers, the associates, the partners. You're always looking to see how to maximize kind of an abundance in a very scarce industry, which I have worked at really hard in my career as well. And I think that's why you and I align.
Absolutely.
How do you keep that in mind when things get rough, though? When everyone, the deal's about to fall apart because you got egos flying, scarce environment, everybody thinks there's not enough. What are some of the mechanisms that you've been able to use to bring out, more of the abundant attitude of how everybody can win? Because that's your magic.
Without a question. And again, I think number one and above all, it's been awesome to watch what you've done and the changes you've made, and I would say what you're bringing into the sports industry, the entertainment industry. I don't think anybody has done a better job of really kind of showing every aspect of what goes into this game, as well as the positivity that you're bringing to the table. And I read your weekly quotes every day, and it's a big emphasis for me and my team, and making sure we're keeping the train moving. And to answer your question, I think it's looking at the bigger picture and knowing that it's not about the immediate deal, the immediate cash flow opportunity. It's the bigger picture, and being able to work with individuals who look past not only what's right in front of us, but what's the long-term play. I think we know that the sports industry has shifted where guys are starting to look at, instead of just taking the easy endorsement money off the table, how else can I get involved on a business venture front? How else can I get involved further, whether it's an equity play as chairperson or something, a longer term investment, instead of, again, the immediate upfront cash. And I think as I've started to shift with the industry and understand and learn from individuals like yourself, learn from individuals like my father, who's been in the industry 25 years, and a multitude of other people who I look up to, and I kind of say, these guys are the pioneers. They've done it for a long time at a very high level. Where now, for the younger millennials, the younger guys that are getting into it and have all these resources, how can we maximize every opportunity and kind of depict to our clients, there's a bigger picture at play here, and you need to really trust and see that vision. So I think it's making sure these guys understand it's not always about the upfront money. It's not always about the immediate opportunity. How can you build long-term and create value? And I think that's something I've gotten to see with a guy like a Nate Burleson, from an NFL perspective, who has shifted in, become one of the, I would say, premier prior athlete, current broadcasters, as well as somebody who has completely evolved on the business front into the entertainment space, personal branding, a guy who has really kind of seen the whole picture and said, I'm going to bring all these pieces in, and I'm going to make it happen, and kind of be that next wave of guys.
And you have, such a great perspective of, of mentorship in the lineage of how you mentor your clients, but you still are being mentored yourself. And, I always say, when we honor people, meaning we pay attention and give attention to what we have learned from them, we promote ourselves and we promote others. It's really interesting because in our business, I don't think people, because of COVID, the timing of it, have really understood the effects of what the new ruling is in the marketing and licensing of college athletes, amateur athletes, because way back when, I'm going to share a quick story that will show you how things are different. Matt Leinart was a marketing client, Clarkson guy, owned part of the Clarkson Dream Makers, and he was playing at USC, and we were trying to stand up for the rights of college kids because the great ones literally were leaving millions of dollars, and they weren't guaranteed to be an Aaron Rodgers. Even
And this was
Leinart,
15 years ago too. Think about
yeah.
where it is now in 2020.
Yeah, and so we came up with this. You'll love this. We came up with an idea. Matt didn't do it, but we almost got him to do it. So the NCAA made the argument that Matt's name wasn't on a USC jersey; it was just number 11. And
Mm-hmm.
how could he even argue that 11 jerseys were sold when his name's not even on it? Why would he have the rights to any of that? So we decided that a week before the season started, Reebok was the NCAA sponsor for USC, that we would switch his number to the Super 7, which is Clarkson's. He likes all the guys with 7. And could you have imagined what the NCAA and Reebok would have done with all the hundreds of thousands of Leinart jerseys that were number 11 without his name on it, and not have one number 7 jersey available?
No doubt about it. See, now that's changing. That is changing the norm beyond belief. That would have been something.
And I it's interesting too, because we are abundant, right? We appreciated. I talked to Matt about it, explained the effects of what it was, and he decided he didn't want to ruffle feathers, and he was going to be fine with CAA and everything that he did in both entertainment. And he's a great announcer, as you know, and a great football player. But he could have easily not played at all and not made any money, got hurt, right? And all that money USC made off of him. He didn't want to do it, and we let it go. But I really thought it was going to be the coup. It was like COVID. It would have accelerated so many things because people would have freaked out and they would have been forced to change rules somewhere.
Extremely.
To that point, though, right? We now really can identify a brand, whether you're a starter like Matt Leinart at one of the biggest colleges in the country, or you're just a personality, a Division III personality that has a big following because you might break dance or rap or do funny TikToks. And those were areas. I played Division III football. I look at what I do on Instagram, and I'd be ineligible. Right now, and I was just an average Division III player, but they would have put me way out there going, you can't do this. You can't make money this way.
Absolutely.
And we don't even fathom how big it is. How are you addressing that and planning for that? Because we haven't been able to really delve into it yet. What are some of the things you're doing to take advantage of the extension of branding?
From a professional perspective, not college. I think the best part is if you have talent that are active on all platforms now. Now we have 10 years ago, it was 10, 15 years ago, it was Facebook, then into Twitter, into Instagram, so on and so forth. Now where we are today, you have upward of, I would say, maybe 6 to 8 platforms that athletes are using, I would say, on a daily basis. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, YouTube, Pinterest, but I would say those are the primary 6 that athletes are really utilizing. So when you're going into a potential endorsement or activation opportunity, I'm viewing it as, hey, we can culminate all these different platforms and you're going to maximize your value there. So for a guy like a Tyreek Hill, if a company is looking to potentially work with him, he has 1.4 on Instagram. He's got 500,000 subscribers on YouTube, and he's getting upward of, call it anywhere from 300 to 500,000 views per video. So you look at that engagement rate across the board, along with, I would say, he's getting upward of 7, I would say anywhere from 6 to 10% per Instagram post. I have a ton of leverage when I'm going off pure social media analytics when I'm selling to a brand. And I think that's what I have enjoyed most. And one other thing that I think my team and I have tried to really instill in a lot of these companies is, social media influencers and athletes are very different if you're putting them under the same influencer realm. I think a lot of companies are always trying to quantify directly, just like they do with social influencers, whatever space, whatever, whether you're micro or macro, whatever space you're in, and comparing it to a professional athlete with the same following, same engagement rate, but it's a very different story. If you're investing into professional athletes, especially I think the NFL above all, just due to the fact that it's the biggest in the US by a mile, you have to add other quantifiable metrics to what you're trying to pay that individual. They're a part of the NFL. They're part of one of 32 teams and one of 1,800 players in the most highly viewed and televised sports in the country. So it's not going to be the same number. And I think that's something really imperative that we've been trying to drive to a lot of these brands. And I think certain brands, when they're getting into the athlete space, you need to go into that thinking, okay, we are going into a different realm here. We are not doing what we typically do when we're talking about affiliate and micro influencers. And I think between that, as well as, again, having that leverage for guys with multi-platforms that they're active on, has been the most enjoyable, and I would say most rewarding from a financial perspective for our clients.
Yeah, we'll have to introduce your boys. We got Terrell, Tyreek, Josh, and Devon. We got to introduce them to Alkaline 88. These guys are awesome.
I was
And
watching.
They're looking they're looking for the right brands to tie in. Real quickly, Dave Meltzer tip of the day for you, Max. You know what platform is gonna 10 years from now when we do this again, that you're gonna tell me that you're the leader on. You're gonna say, Dave Meltzer told me 10 years ago that I gotta start focusing my guys on this, especially guys like Devon. You gotta start building your LinkedIn for these guys. Nobody's doing it. Nobody's doing it, and your first thing you should be saying is, man, we're maxed out on LinkedIn, because these guys, I built Lee Steinberg in sports entertainment when I was there off of the irrationality of middle-aged men, I called it. Now it's the irrationality of people, and that is just bred. Like, there's no athletes on there, and if they start posting, they will dominate in a space that they want to be in, and your job will get easier and easier. So I start formulating a LinkedIn strategy for all your guys. I'm sure you started, but really push them. Really push them.
You're absolutely 100% spot on. And there are a couple guys that we have that are more focused on the business venture front beyond, I would say, the marketing, endorsements, and media side. And it's something that I think it's for the selective athlete and guys who truly understand the long-term play and perspective post-career versus your everyday player. But a couple of those I could not agree more. And I think those ones that we have worked on have had a ton of traction and ample opportunity regarding additional endeavors.
And just to shift your perspective too, I still think that you could post up on LinkedIn, even the guys that don't have business ventures or acumen, just to raise their awareness for the C-level executives and decision makers on LinkedIn that may not get a feel for how articulate they are, how well there's some opportunities that I see, because there's no competition, that there's a lot of executives and management people looking and going, oh man, I never knew that this person was so articulate. Look, they posted this thing, this motivational thing. I'd like to hire them to come and do an appearance and a signing. They're amazing. So I think it's untapped. And a lot of people have that perspective. It's just for guys that want business development. But I think there's still branding and endorsement opportunities on LinkedIn just by giving exposure awareness to that as well. I broke Instagram again. Oh, this is so good. I'm sorry, Max. What's going on? We're stuck. Anyway, we're catching the New Jersey internet. I think Verizon based in New Jersey. This is crazy. Anyway, we got the great Max Meltzer, and I'm trying to get all the names right today. You can see what it's like. Check out at Max MAXX_management MGMT. Check him out. He is one of the leaders. He will be a legend as well as he progresses through this. I appreciate you, Max. If you can hear me, thank you so much. We're going to take some more questions. We'll have him back on as well. Thank you, my friend. We are good. The internet let us down a little bit at the end, but that makes it fun. All right, let's take a quick question. Thank you, Max, by the way. Thank you, Alkaline 88, Aaron K. They also, Aaron K, if you, we didn't get to talk about spectrum, but these guys know the spectrum they're trying to reach. They know who they're trying to reach. And just thank you. Axe at MAXXLEP. And I also have at MAXS_MGMT. Those are the two that I have for Max. Check him out. He understands the business. We're going to talk about manifestation on Friday, how to materialize your ideas, personal and professional, how to monetize things. It's an incredible power that we all have and the mindset that we all need. I'm going to do a training at 11 a.m. Pacific every Friday for 20 years. Just join me, david@dmeltzer.com. If you haven't got the exercises, books, guides, etc. for free from past trainings like Ultimate Ego, my guide to how to pitch, the sales guide, any of those things, all you got to do is email me, david@dmeltzer.com. Yes, we're going to talk about meditation, theta meditation, how to raise your awareness through frequency and through neutral thinking. Let's just take a quick question here. What mentors are you learning from today? Well, I believe mentors are alive and dead. Blaine Bartlett is one of my alive mentors I'm learning from. I'm learning from Napoleon Hill every day, Course in Miracles every day, Dr. Wayne Dyer every day, and John Asseroff every day, Jack Canfield every day, Reverend Beckwith every day. I have such access to mentors and trying to get the most that I can. Gary Vaynerchuk every day on the digital marketing side. These people, very specific what I'm doing. I'm looking for people that sit in the situation that I want to be in. All right, Max, I'm going to have you come real quick and say goodbye. Let me get you back in there. MAXXLEP. Check him out. There we go. We're going to finish up. All right.
Sorry, I am sorry about that, my friend. I'm unsure what happened there, but
You don't live close enough to Baskin Ridge where AT&T is. That's it.
I agree. But one thing I wanted to mention is, again, this is why you learn something new, and I definitely agree on LinkedIn, and it's something that we definitely want to emphasize for our clients. And one other thing, mainly going back to even the the approach and the endorsement side, is authenticity is key, and I think this more than anybody. When you're looking to really build relationships for your clients, it's knowing the client. And even going back to a Devon Kennard, Devon with his interests, what he's looking to do for his personal brand, what he wants to do post-career, and all the different avenues he wants to cover, authenticity above all is something that we're truly trying to hone in on for each individual. And it's always not going to work that way, but you try and keep it in the realm as much as possible.
And lastly, before I let you go, too, one of the things that you do and I do and we both believe is, whether it's Terrell, Tyreek, Josh, Devon, giving back. All of those guys and your other guys are really focused on how they can elevate others, how they're giving back. And it seems to be a common thread between the people that you work with, not only the athletes, but the people that you work with. You have a greater thing in mind, a greater goal, a greater legacy for yourself, by seeing and how we can use these brands to create change. And these guys, all of them, I don't think people appreciate how much time they spend to help other people. And I know, because I watch the industry and I watch who's out there doing the right things, and they don't get credit all the time. So I know behind all these athletes that do those things is someone like you, giving them and raising their awareness and giving them an appreciation how important giving back is. So I want to thank you for all of that, especially, empowering others to empower others to be happy. You certainly are one of my 1,000, and I appreciate you. And thank you so much for all you do.
Thank you for everything, Dave. Appreciate it. And, again, always looking forward to building this relationship and everything you're doing.
You got it, my friend. I'll see you soon.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. Stay safe.
Right. Thank
Stay
you,
well.
Max. Check it out. Great guys, right? Surround yourself with the right people, the right idea. Whether you're an athlete, a company, an executive, you want to make things easy. You do business with people like Max. Check it out. He's easy to find, and he has some great clients. Likes attract likes. That's all I got to say. Max is the man. Everyone says it. The GOAT. All right. Very good, everyone. Thank you so much. We're going to catch you on Friday, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. Remember, we're going to talk about manifestation, personal and professional manifestation, the ability to take a painting and materialize it, right? Imagine what you want, paint it in your mind, and then materialize it. That's what we're going to teach. How fun is that? If you miss it, it's replayed and featured on Spotify. It's featured on Entrepreneur. It's featured everywhere, but go check it out. You can email me, david@dmeltzer.com. The guides are free, the exercises. My books are free. If it's free, it's me. Now it's for you too. Most importantly, be kind to your future self and do good deeds. I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.